Now, the cost and consequences of the domestic debt exchange program should not deter investors from putting their funds in other areas. Now, that's what the experts are saying, following what appears to be a dip in confidence when it comes to investing, especially in government bonds, following the announcement of a debt exchange program. And now some of the experts who have been speaking to Joy Business say that there are other options to look at. Here's a couple of them who spoke at the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting earlier in the day.
That we are part of the cause of the problem that we find ourselves in.
We are part of the problem?
Yes, I'm not talking of the government, the problem the government has caused,
okay,
but the problem that we now face, which has led you to ask the question.
How is that?
Because, yes, there may be some reasons, but we place all our bets in one basket. We put all our eggs in one basket. I know you can say we did not have alternatives as investors. The safest investment was what we went for. We didn't have alternatives, but there were near alternatives that we could have put our money into. But as a general observation, we tend to be very, very risk averse in this country.
Well, we're made to believe that government bonds are safe to invest in. At least it's one of the safest places to put your money.
So who do you blame now? If you believed that story and now you've been caught out, what do you do? But the main principle about investment is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Most people who are in the investment community, most investors, this is a basic principle that they know. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Why did we do that? Yes, as I said much earlier, we can say the alternatives were not as attractive as the government bonds or putting your money in government securities. But that does not mean that you should put 100%. We could perhaps have put 70%, 30% elsewhere.
Elsewhere, where?
Well, we'll come to that. Because that's part.
Just to add to what he said, in fact, I agree with him, but probably to an extent, because just last year, towards the end of the year, I got some monies, and then I said to myself, do I put the money into the bonds, the T-bills, or probably change the money into foreign currency and keep them? And then a friend of mine told me that, Eric, change the money into either the USD and keep the money at home. At that time, the exchange rate was $1 to 14.5 Ghana cedis. Okay, so I changed just a few, okay, and then I put the rest of the money into the 91-day treasury bills. Okay, so, but then this morning I was talking to a friend. That money that I probably have at home now is no longer there. If a thief comes to me or breaks into my house and takes the money, I've lost everything. Okay, so I said to myself that yes, it would be better to place it in the T-bills, because at least you are sure, you are guaranteed that you are going to have your interest paid at the end of the 91 days. And even there, you have an option. Either you roll it or you only want the principal and all of that. So at least you have options. But we have come to where we are basically because of the fact that, like I've said earlier on, we haven't managed our debts well. Because if we had done so, I don't think that we would have gotten to where we are, where we now have to go to the IMF.
And the result that we have seen is that people have now lost faith in investment, especially in government bonds. People now have monies and they are thinking, what should I do with these monies? I'll come to your question about where else people can invest. But do you think that the problem is also how government managed this crisis, the communication that went before they started this debt exchange program, you know?
Uses for government. There's been, if you allow me to say, a complete failure of government. There's no doubt about that. What I'm interested in is the individual out there who is now sitting on money and doesn't know what to do with that money. Should he change it to foreign exchange and lose value as my brother here has just done? There are alternatives.
What would you advise?
What I would advise is, and this has to take some doing also, we need to work on this. There's a possibility of ensuring that the stock exchange really works and works very well. We can buy stocks. We can trade in shares. Yes, the stock exchange may not be performing as it should be. Yes, the private sector has a lot more work to do to inspire confidence in the investing public, to put monies into the real sector. That's part of the challenge we have in this country. We are not putting money into the real sector. I'm a business development strategist, so I'm the first to admit that we do have problems in the real sector. But these are problems that we can address. And by the way, anytime you have a challenge like this, the opportunities also jump at you. So now that we are faced with a huge challenge like this, I'm calling on my friends and colleagues in the business development industry to step up to the game. It is time for us to help the private sector, to help companies in the private sector, to put in place the right management systems, to put in place the right financing systems, and attract people like him. They don't have to put their monies under the pillow. They don't have to sit on their monies and say, what do we do with all this? You can invest in the real sector.